My billionaire boyfriend slashed my face, shouting that my breathing rhythm was wrong, that I didn't tremble like her. In his basement, he constantly played his ex's movies. She dumped him 2 years ago, and I went from auditioning actress to body double for the star, forced to repeat her performances daily. The third time, Russell Rowlett shattered a Limoges porcelain plate. The flying shards left several cuts on my face, he said coldly. Ampiano, your breathing is off by 2 beats. She wouldn't tremble like you. In the basement theater, a Hoodslade film starring his first love was playing on a loop. The Oscar-winning actress, whose features bore a 70% resemblance to mine, had ruthlessly abandoned Russell 2 years ago. Since then, I have become her substitute. Again, hits me, I told you. Hits me. Mr. Rowlett, I wouldn't dare. Keep practicing until your acting is exactly like hers. Oh, okay? And no dinner. She's been on a diet for years. You should be too. A 1-to-1 replica. Bernadette Deshauna lived in dazzling brilliance while I existed in the shadows, as insignificant as an ant. Russell hired a new acting coach for me, one-on-one private lessons at an exorbitant price, but I knew the real reason because that woman was using the same coach. Why it was a 1-on-2. The coach hesitated. Much dirt, Miss Tytler. You have never had a public film or television appearance, so it's hard to compare, right? I, Marielle Tytler, had only ever performed for one audience. Russell, the billionaire CEO. Ever since the actress dumped him, his ego had been deeply wounded and he had grown more and more twisted. 2 years ago, he announced plans for a major international film and held auditions in over a dozen states. Out of tens of thousands, I was the one he chose. I thought I was about to go from rags to riches, but instead of starring in a film, I became his well-kept canary in a gilded cage. Being pampered in captivity would have been one thing, but God knows what kind of hell I was actually living 2 years by his side. Acting every single day, my skills had improved so much I could probably win an award. Whenever the actress starred in a new film, Russell would make me reenact her performance at home. If I didn't do it well, there would be consequences. I was nothing more than his hopeless, pathetic stand-in, and that actress was a career-obsessed workaholic. She was already getting older, yet she still kept filming one project after another. Hadn't she made enough money? Inspired, she just settled down with her billionaire CEO. To make things worse, the film industry had been struggling this year, so she switched to starring in web series. If it were a film, it'd be just about 2 or 3 hours long, and her screen time would be at most a third of that. I could still squeeze in a manicure or caning session while memorizing her scenes. But web series, they ran for 6 to 13 episodes. Paris Eason. Just studying her latest role had already consumed all my free time. Thinking about that now, I hadn't stepped outside in ages. No matter how busy Russell was, he always came home for dinner. People said he couldn't bear to be apart from me, but I knew the truth. He just enjoyed tormenting me. Bernadette's latest role was a housewife who displayed exceptional cooking skills in the series, so of course he demanded that I cook just as well, but I couldn't cook. And it was just any cooking, it had to be top-tier Italian cuisine, I protested. She didn't actually cook it, but he wasn't having it. That very night, he hired a Michelin-starred chef from Italy to train me. I pulled 3 all-nighters and finally managed to create a meticulously plated molecular gastronomy dish featuring raw beef. It no longer even looked like beef after all the essence of molecular cuisine was breaking everything down to the molecular level. Perfect. This is the exact taste. Internally, I was beyond speechless.